Alright, I finally did it! After years of putting it off, I finally started to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And let me tell you, this took me by surprise. The year is 2025, and I'm only now watching one of the most prolific properties in the anime community, and one that is widely praised. I know very few things about this series, besides the naming themes, which are actually pretty cool, I can't lie, the memes, the countless memes, and the sus moments. And for all those reasons, I really didn't want to watch this series. But after a change of heart, and the reveal of the 7th part getting an adaptation, there was no better time to experience this bizarre story. Thus begins my video journal series for this juggernaut of a story, where I'll go through every existing part in the anime as far as I have watched. Starting off naturally, my honest review for the completely bonkers JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1, Phantom Blood. Now it's been brought to my attention that amongst the community, this is considered to be the majority's least favorite part, going as far as to even urge newcomers to skip this portion entirely, and after watching I can see why. There's quite a lot of noticeable issues with this, some of which are hard to ignore. The pacing for this part is unbelievably fast. As someone who's watched a lot of slower paced battle shonens, for this to be the exact opposite was a weird experience, even if I did appreciate it slowing down during the middle portion. Plot elements literally start and finish within the same episode, sometimes even half. This very part, in fact, ends 3 different times. A lot of random things happen that just don't make sense. Zeppeli discovers the location of the stone mask and knows about JoJo's defeat with Dio, surprisingly. Blueford, that's his name, right? I think that's his name? Goes from wanting to kill Jonathan and steal his blood in the name of Dio to suddenly becoming purified due to JoJo's kindness and gives him his sword?
Okay.
There's a lot of fluff that could be easily removed and it wouldn't make any difference to the overall plot. There are so many instances of this. The plot additionally does feel a bit dated and hasn't really aged well. Alas, that is to be expected given how long ago this was written. For only 9 episodes, it's fair to say that Araki was still finding his feet with his writing. Despite these grievances that I have, there are things I really like. I love the Halloween theme of the 18th century in England. I do love the comedy, even if at times it feels over the top and doesn't take itself seriously. It managed to get a few laughs out of me. The animation is consistently good, and for the majority, I do love the unique characteristics. Dio Brando is by far my favorite character and easily the best part of this arc. He is an asshole, yes. He lives, breathes, and produces hate all the time. His first introduction was kicking a dog in the face. In mere moments of meeting this man, he made it his sworn goal to ruin the main character's life, making his dad and friends lose respect for him, killing his dog, beating him in every battle, and ruining his relationship by stealing his and hers first kiss. I cannot make this up. His character is incredibly fun to watch and is a great villain and perfect foil to Jonathan Joestar. So Jonathan isn't exactly a perfect main character in my opinion, and I don't particularly love him. I found him to be quite bland, incredibly naive, and boring for the most part. He hasn't really developed much, if at all. I honestly hate how he just willingly lets the villains get away with whatever and reacts to it only afterwards. In fact, I forget most of the time that he's even the main character. However, I cannot deny that despite all this, his personality and kind gentlemanly nature works well as a drastic polar opposite to Dio. Their character dynamic, as a matter of fact, was easily my favorite aspect of this part. In the first episode, we see flashes of back and forths between their different upbringings. Whilst JoJo was brought up to be good and proper, having to deal with minute problems such as failing with his manners and petty bullying, Dio grew up in the slums of England, in poverty, struggling to survive, garnering a burning hatred for the upper class. And what's established their characteristics and ideals are through their fathers. George has always seen the best in people and acted with kindness to even the worst people, whereas Dario is an opportunist and wouldn't hesitate to harm even his own son to get what he wants. Around the course and end of their first fight, they not only inherit their father's traits, but also seemingly close their growth. Dio has become far too gone once made a vampire, and Jonathan, despite everything, chooses to not hate Dio, still seeing him as a brother. Naturally, fates and bloodlines were a reoccurring theme in this part. The two characters were not only fated to be the way that they are due to their bloodline and must be tied to it, but were also fated to cross the same path time and time again. Their lives were metaphorically linked, even in death. This final moment, this final episode as a matter of fact, made this whole part worth it to me. I felt as if it was a perfect way to end these two characters. What I really loved is through to the end, Dio grew from hating JoJo to greatly respecting him. Once he realized Jonathan had passed, for a character who always knew what to say, was speechless. And through to the end, Jonathan forgave Dio for everything, just like his father wanted him to. Man, I didn't expect to feel this type of way when finishing. Araki definitely cooked with this. To kill the main character at the end is a bold move. My thoughts on the other characters? Zeppeli is great, honestly. In the short time I knew him, I loved this character as a mental figure to JoJo. The power system of Hamon may be similar to others I've seen before, it still is an interesting concept. Zeppeli punching a frog was absolutely ridiculous, I love it. Oh, and Speedwagon? Sorry guys, but I don't really see the appeal. Overall, I don't hate this part as much as everyone else does. Even if there are gaping issues that are quite hard to ignore, I still found enjoyment with this. At the very least, it doesn't turn me away from wanting to watch the rest of this widely praised series. It certainly fits the title in that it is completely bizarre and cartoonishly over the top, that it does become quite jarring. However, if this is the charm for how JoJo's is, then I'm sure I can grow to love it once complete. As someone who looked down on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the past, whilst not fully loving the self-contained story, has made me appreciate how much love, personality, and quirkiness of Araki's writing in a bizarre way. Phantom Blood has a lot wrong, and a lot of it shouldn't work, however somehow it does. And after that cliffhanger, I gotta say it's made me definitely excited to watch part 2, Battle 10. Couple months ago, I watched and reviewed Vinland Saga for the first time. Click here to watch my review on Season 1.